Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. Now this video is a part of the Winter Wonderland open playlist collaboration being hosted by Kate from So Kate and Tammy from Happiness Created. Now the rules were for us to create DIYs with an interpretation of winter. Now what I'm showing you here are the end results of the projects that I created, and I started working on this from way back in December, but somehow those clips got corrupted. So for some I'm just going to walk you through the process, and others I'll try to redo. Now this wall sign, as you saw there, it was all crooked and I just couldn't look at it anymore. So what I'm doing now is an attempt at correcting that mistake. So I straighten the line and then use some tape to cover the area that I don't want to paint. And I'm taking this Waverly Ocean Blue chalk paint, and I tried my best to get the same mixture or blend that I did before, but it didn't happen, so I'm just gonna go with what I have. So I'm just painting over that section, and as you can see, I'm mixing with some white acrylic paint just to see if I could blend or catch that same shade I have. For some reason, when I did these footage at the time, by transferring them to the editing software, they got corrupted and I was so disappointed. But I decided not to, abandon the project. I'm just going in now to try and correct or do whatever or explain as much as I can. So once I painted that section, I then used the heat gun to dry that, and I can't express how much I enjoy having a heat implement to assist me with my project, because I don't have the time to wait for the stuff to dry when I'm working. So once that is dry, now we have a straight line and it's centered. I'm taking Waverly white chalk paint and I am going to cover that word believe. I didn't cover it all the way or cover it too much because I wanted the word to show through just a little bit, because I'm going to be tracing or putting back the stencil right where it was, where the word was. So after I dried that, I'm taking the stencil now and I'm trying to line it up back where it was before. And again, I'm going in with some Waverly Pool paint. And again, I tried to blend just to see if I could catch the same shade I had originally. But of course, that didn't work, so I just worked with what I had. I think I had to use some of the blue, the ocean blue, as well as the pool and some white paint. But so as not to, let it stress me out, I decided to just work with what I had. And once I got that done, I dried it again with the heat gun, and drying it with the stencil on, I had to be very careful because I didn't want the stencil to become hot and then warped out of shape. So here I removed it and it looked a little lighter than what I had before, but hey, I'm just working with it. It still gave that winter vibe. And of course some of the paint bled through, so I'm just using the white acrylic paint to just touch up the areas that needed to touch up. So just to tell you a little bit more about the collaboration, I will leave the link for Soakate as well as Happiness Created in the description box below, as well as a link to the playlist. So go ahead, after you get done watching my video, go ahead and check out their channels as well as what they have contributed to the playlist today. So here I'm just taking some Mod Podge and I am just sealing the paint on the surface. And you see me pausing for a little bit and just wetting the brush in some water to dilute the Mod Podge so that it could spread easier. And here we have our sign all done. Now this sign is one of those winter signs from the Dollar Tree. I should have flipped it around to show you a little bit. I might do that at the end. And here I have some stars. I had these stars I purchased a few years ago from Lidl. I'm not sure how many of you know of Lidl, but they tend to have great finds sometime, and I had this, so I'm just gluing those little silver stars on it. They weren't on the original sign, but I think that adding them here made it pop a little bit more. And that ribbon I had is a wired silver ribbon that I had glued on with some winter pick, frosted greenery. And I also took some jute twine and wrapped around the top. Now for this one I picked up these pine cones when I went for a walk a few weeks ago on a walking trail in the woods. And then I took some red ribbon. One piece was measured 14 inches and the other piece measured 12 inches. And I just lined them up on this wooden ring and glued them down, and then glued them on top of the pine cone. But what I did also was to use some white acrylic paint just to frost the pine cones a little bit. And this DIY is done. Now this one is very easy. I got this vase at the thrift store for $2, I believe. I took a string light battery pack and I I taped that on the inside, and then I just layered the balls. These are some ornaments from my tree. I just layered them along with the pine cones and with the string light on the inside. Then I took some of that same wired silver ribbon you saw on the prior DIY, wrapped it around the vase, glued down a piece of paper where the battery pack is, and some of those stars just to cover it, and that's done. And then this one is also easy. I wrapped a piece of the ribbon around this one as well. This is one of those canisters from the Dollar Tree that is on a stand. And I just filled that with some white rocks, some fake snow at the Dollar Tree. I still had some more pine cones left. I placed those on the inside, stick a candle in the middle, and this is done. And for this display you're seeing, I wrapped a wreath around the center and just placed it in the middle. Now this DIY wasn't a part of the original video. I just decided to add this at the end. This is a vase and a piece of white mesh and a short string of Christmas light. I'm just gonna stuff or place the light on the inside, and then I have this pack of potpourri from the Dollar Tree, and I'm filling the vase with the potpourri. I'm filling the vase, and once I got all of that in, I'm making sure as well that while I'm filling, I'm stuffing the light on the inside. And then I am going to take the mesh and put that over on the outside. And to keep it in place, I use a rubber band to wrap around the rim. And then I took this thin red ribbon and just wrapped it around a couple times, tied it in a bow. And here I'm just showing you how the light looks when it's plugged in. And this, you can use this on a table, you can use it by your bedside. I wanted to show you what it looks like, so I placed it on a stool that was nearby an outlet and just plugged it in, turned off all the lights, and this is what it looked like. And I think it gave that warm, cozy feeling, you know, wintry, cozy feeling. All right, so this is the last one. I'm gonna do the sleigh, but I just decided to leave the sleigh and just do this one. I'll just let you watch to see what I'm doing. And I'm using Waverly Antique Wax and some skewers from the Dollar Tree. I cut that down using my miter shear. You can also use the scissors. You don't have to necessarily use a miter shear, but I love using it. And if you're interested in that, I have a link in the description box below. You can check that out from Amazon. I've never made this before. This was my first attempt because I'm from the tropics. I'm from the Caribbean. I don't get snow, so we don't usually do these kind of projects or, you know, bring these things out when it comes to Christmas time because we don't get snow. So once I glued that down, no, I could have, but I did not cross the other piece of skewer above the other that was already glued on. I cut it at an angle because I know that I'm gonna be covering that in the middle, so I just cut it at an angle. Now, if this was a real ski, you couldn't use that stick, and I wouldn't have done it that way either. So I just took a piece of greenery and a pine cone that I had, glued it in the middle, and then flipped it over, glue on a piece of twine at the back, and this is just for hanging because it's for decorative purposes only, and this is done. Now, at the beginning, I thought of, you know, abandoning this project because I lost my clips, but I decided to work with what I had and just explain it. So there you have it, guys, these winter wonderland DIYs. Let me know in the comments below which of these was your favorite. And although that took me longer than usual, or I had to redo some parts of it, I still had fun doing all of them, as a matter of fact. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you like content like this one, be sure to watch this video or watch this playlist, and check out the playlist in the description box below. Until I catch you next time.